One. Welcome to tacosandgeeks.com. Justin here, and we're here with Ashley. How you doing, sis?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And today we're going to be talking about the Square Enix E3 press conference, and we are going to go through almost everything they showed. We're gonna skip the Avengers, Wakanda, War for Wakanda. We'll just give that an honorable mention. So yes, they showed War of Wakanda, and it looks pretty good. What did you think, Ash?
I think it looks good. I mean, I haven't played the main game, but it makes me want to play the main game just
Mhm.
to get that expansion.
Yeah.
But I hear kind of mixed feelings about the main game in general. So I'm thinking they added this to kind of save their skins a bit.
But
There's,
we will transition into what they showed. Speaking of Marvel, because that was I would say it was started off the biggest surprise until they hit us with a very mixed feeling ending. But
Mhm,
they
mhm.
hit us up first with the reveal of Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and the release date is in October of this year. I never even heard that this was even in development. This for me was just a huge surprise. It came completely left field. And I have to say, I really did enjoy what I saw. I thought it really captured the spirit of the movies. It captured the characters that's from the comic books. And I think this might be Marvel's show that the Marvel game that really hits everything on all cylinders and really shows I will say kind of the same level of the feel of the Marvel Spider-Man show where they really Spider-Man show Spider-Man game where they really captured the actual essence of the characters. I mean, this really nailed Star-Lord, Drax, Rocket, um Gamora, and Groot. So I really enjoyed it. Gameplay did look a little bit repetitive just from the clips that they showed, but I can overlook it. It looks good. But what are your thoughts, Ash?
Um, no, I feel like kind of the same way. I think my biggest I want to say disappointment because I think like it just reminds me of a Tales game, except or like a Mass Effect type of thing where
Mhm.
what you what you choose dialogue wise determines what happens in the world. Which I like that aspect of it. But I think what disappointed me was like I know it's supposed to be centered around Peter and
Mm.
everything, but I would really love to have like play Gamora or Drax or Rocket or Groot in any point in time. But I know that they're following the storyline that it's only 1 year since they've been together. So it makes sense that we're Peter, since he's trying to figure out his whole leadership thing and they're trying to figure out how to be a team.
Mhm.
And based on the dialogue, I think it's great. Like the banter between all of them is great. I love the fact that Gamora knows more, like I guess more pop culture now instead of like in the movies.
Yeah.
Because in the movies, I mean, like it was endearing and like that made sense. But like those movies were like an interpretation of like their origin story. So I like how this game is more towards the comics than it is like the movies. But they're taking like the comedy from like the movies and stuff and the comics and putting them all to one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gameplay does look competitive. Jeez, it does look repetitive. So I hope that there's more stuff than then just calling out for certain
I,
teammates
yeah, and certain
because
attacks.
that reminds me of like Persona 5, like the Persona games where you have like the all out attack
Yeah.
type of thing, and you can kind of, especially in strikers, you can spam that for no end. So hopefully we'll see more gameplay out there of it, but I mean I would buy it, sure.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I really like just to piggyback off what you were saying with the dialogue. I think the dialogue and just the banter really like I actually laughed. Like I could tell that this is going to be one of those games that's definitely action comedy that is going to have me laughing out loud. There's a couple of scenes in there, especially when they threw Rocket across when he Star-Lord said, "Hey, you can throw Rocket," and Rocket was just so furious. I was like, okay, you guys definitely nailed the spirit of the James Gunn movies. with the accuracy of the comic books by using certain comic book characters and everything else. And the graphics look good too. The world looks good. It looks like it's going to be a really stellar adventure. So I will have to say, we started off, for me, this was my favorite game that they did showcase. Mainly because we got more time to explore, but I'm actually shocked that we're getting this so quickly in October. That means this had to probably be in development the same time they were developing the Avengers game, because it does have similar graphical tones and graphical looks with it. So I think these two
Hmm.
games were being worked off at the same time. So we transitioned from that, and then they announced a couple of mobile games, which was Final Fantasy 1 through 6, pixel remastered for Steam and mobile. And I was getting hyped because I was thinking we're gonna get a nice HD remastered, really crisp and clean, something like they did with Final Fantasy 4, at least in that type of graphical standpoint. It's just gonna be a little bit of a pixel spice up, and it's only coming for Steam and mobile, which for me as a Nintendo Switch owner, of course I have a PS4 as well, but me as a Switch owner who has a Switch Lite, I would have loved all six on the Switch, because Switch has 7, has 8, has 9, has 12. That would have been great for me. I would have just had all that in one console on the go, on the road. But I'm not really thrilled about this. This is okay. It's just a nice spruce up.
Hmm.
What do we think is?
I mean, I'm not, well, also too, I didn't play like the first iterations of Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
so I don't really have like an opinion about it, except for like, I guess it's fine. I think again, kind of going to you, uh, kind of piggybacking off what you said. I think because it's on mobile now, people have to kind of like factor in data from their phone and
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and all of that. Whereas if it was on the Switch, you wouldn't have to worry about that. If they would have done it like they did like with the Mario collection, and it was just free, just for everyone to have, I think it would have been better.
Mm.
Because I mean, if it's going to be on mobile, I feel like that's going to be free, and then on Steam, it's probably, I'll be surprised if it goes over $20.
Yeah. It
So,
better be. It better not be over. I mean, if it's everything in one pack, I could see them charging at least $30 for the collection on Steam or something like that. But if it's
but on
individual
mobile,
again,
I hope they
yeah,
don't charge on mobile.
you really should not be charging $20 for this. These games are really, I mean, compared to this today, to younger kids today, they'll think that this game is ancient. But there are some other mobile games that was announced. Hitman Sniper, that looked pretty good.
I
Near,
was
were you
surprised about
surprised?
that.
Yeah,
I was surprised about Hitman, and yeah, Near it.
that looked good. Believe it or
It
not,
did look good.
like.
I don't know. I don't know if I would get it though.
Yeah, I'm not much big on the mobile gaming. And then the one that always has me still furious, because you show this, but you're not showing the other. You're not showing what we really want to see. You showed glimpses of Final Fantasy First Soldier, and
Hmm.
all these spent, like I predicted this before. I said they're gonna treat this 7 remake like Kingdom Hearts. They're gonna milk this thing out before we get to part 2, and then they're gonna milk it out again till we get to
Yep.
part 3. And it's just like, I mean, it looks good. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna get it because I'm a Final Fantasy 7 head. I'm a fanboy. I'm gonna buy it regardless. But that does not mean I can't complain. But it's like, give me part 2. Where is part 2? Show me a clip. Show me a glimpse. Something. You just keep
Right.
pushing. Hey, this is what happened during this time. Hey, this is the side stories. This is the side stories. I don't care about that. Just give me the complete game already. Then do all these side stories, because they feel like just DLCs pretty much. Like, it's, I don't know. It looks good. I'll probably check it out most likely anyway if it has something really warranted to do with the story. But I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking about getting just Final Fantasy because I never played Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
I know what happens. Like, spoiled that for myself years ago. But I never actually played it. So I think for me, playing it for the first time would be good, beneficial. Yeah, I think they're just trying to go with the nostalgia. You know how Final Fantasy VII was on 3 discs.
Yeah.
So I guess now they're trying to do that whole three thing. But now we're in a digital age where in an age now where we can download the whole thing. It may take up a lot of more memory, but you're using all that memory up anyway by downloading half of the game
Yeah.
or 3/4 of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there were a lot. I think really this E3 was more so to show off Guardians of the Galaxy, because that was just like that was a surprise.
Yeah.
And really Life is Strange. I think that was the goal really for Square Enix conference for E3 this year. Because everything, like, they went by like The World Ends with You too. Which, like, I've only seen trailers of it
Yeah.
and some
And that's
gameplay.
and that's coming out, I believe, this month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you would think you want to get some more last minute pre-order sales. You would show more gameplay. They just like, okay, the game's done. We'll just put it out there. And that's it. I guess I don't know. I,
Same with
um,
Lara Croft, because I didn't know that there was going to be a new Lara Croft game. Like, that surprised me. I was like, wait. There was a new Lara Croft game coming out?
yeah, there's a
Y'all
lot of
didn't say anything?
stuff. I was just like, this is the moment you need to kind of pull the trigger, but they was just like, okay, no, we got that new Life is Strange, which is
True Colors?
remastered.
Oh,
Um
yeah.
yeah, the remaster. I mean, the new one looks good. The new one actually looks better. I didn't play 2. I played a demo of 2. Wasn't real much of a fan. From a story standpoint, 3, or I guess we could call this 3, but this new
3.
Life is Strange looks really good. I did like
I
the
really
fact
like
that
it.
her powers are the ability to read minds, and that's really gonna come up with such a dilemma for her, because it's like, what do you reveal? Like what they showed on the trailer. What do you reveal? Do you reveal that something's going on with the boyfriend, or do you keep it to yourself? And so I did like that aspect. And the song sounds really good. I like how they include the person to see what inspires the song. The remastered, okay, I'm just gonna put it out there.
It's more defined. It's more
I couldn't
more
really tell
defined.
much of a difference. I mean, okay, before people flame like, what are you talking about? Did you not see the graphical upgrade? There's a little, it looks cleaner, is all I can say. What I do hope is that they did go back and do the redubs for, I think it was I'm not sure it's the prequel part of it, the prequel when they got the new voice actor, and
And
because
the storm.
yeah, I'm not sure if after the storm is in that, but if it is, I hope they went back and got redubbed it with the original actors, so they can just have that continuity.
I
On,
think so. I think they said something about how they either redubbed it or they
yeah,
resynced it.
yeah, they should definitely do that. But I mean, Life is Strange looks good. I mean, I'm probably definitely going to get the third one because I'm really curious to see what that story is about. But
Same, True Colors. Yeah, it looks really good.
they also had a new game announced called Babylon Fall, which is from one of my favorite developers, Platinum Games, who did the brilliant Astro Chain on the Switch. And this one looks pretty good as well. I'm curious to see what it's about. It didn't grab me like how Astro Chain grabbed me just from the first look of it, but the aesthetics, it looks like it's going for that more Dragon Slayer, medieval type Final Fantasy S type vibe with it. Gameplay, as always with Platinum Games, looks very solid, very fluent. They're very action based. Something I'm going to probably put in my queue for later when it comes out, but I just need to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah, I think Platinum Games is also did the Bayonetta series,
Yes, they did.
and they done a. I really love the Bayonetta series. Sorry, my accent. Um, but I don't. I when I looked at it, it didn't intrigue me actually. Really.
Mhm.
Um, I just think it's just kind of like they call it. They said it was hack and slash.
Yeah.
but they mentioned how you go from level to level, and it just reminded me of like a roguelike
Yeah.
game. So, and then you can like customize your warrior and stuff like that, which kind of brings me to that roguelike realm.
Mm.
I mean, I think like the character design of everybody looks like incredible. Um, but I don't think that one's the game for me.
Yeah. Like I said, for me, it's gonna be a wait and see. And then the reason why this is gonna be so short, folks, because the press conference was really, really short. It's like
It was
20.
like 20 minutes.
I was expecting a lot more, like them to go out. So the big shocker, which has my phone literally buzzing right now, people are texting me about this right now. Stranger of Paradise, which is Stranger of Paradise, but they do have a subtitle, Final Fantasy Origin. I'm gonna say that again. Final Fantasy Origin has Final Fantasy now has this is going to be the origin story, I believe, I guess, I'm assuming from of all Final Fantasy, I'm assuming from the Final Fantasy universe because
It seems like from Chaos. So, because I know like with the I don't know much about Final Fantasy lore, so please forgive me if I step out of line because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't think.
she's a
So
casual.
I am very casual. Mm. Um, but no, I think chaos is there's chaos, and then there's like um the goddess that like the warrior of light came from
Yeah.
the first Final Fantasy game. So maybe this because they mentioned in the trailer they called out somebody's name that seemed like it was like their friend or ally, and then he was like, "No, I'm chaos." So maybe that's how the origin. So it's like from a like a regular guy turned into like this madman godlike
Hmm.
character that just really has been immortal for like thousands upon thousands of years. So
Well,
I guess he's like the original like like the original quote unquote chaos or of evil in the games.
I did just get an email from Square Enix. Their official press release just went through, which
Oh,
goes into more detail on what this
oh,
game's about. So I'm gonna read it out right now.
was I close?
Yeah, well, perfect timing. Well, about to read it, but you would think they would go more in depth with this
Hmm.
on the show instead of just showing a trailer and but anyway, it says the Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin trial version was also announced during the showcase, as we know, which gives players the opportunity to experience a taste of the full game centering on Jack and his allies, Ash and Jed, as they throw open the gates to the Chaos Shrine, burning with the resolve to defeat Chaos, and with the memories of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, are they the foretold warriors of light? So I guess this is the first tale of the ever warriors of light. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. So it says players can explore the dark fantasy world as they battle an array of iconic monsters from the Final Fantasy series using powerful spells and abilities from a sample of jobs including warrior, dragoon, and black mage. While it is Final Fantasy, it feels different, but there's no doubt that the blood of the Final Fantasy runs through the veins. Tatsuya Nomura, okay, Tetsuo Nomura, creative producer of Stranger of Final Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. We've undertaken the challenge of finding this difficult middle ground for this mature and stylish title. We need a little time until we're able to complete it. And while the battle system is a bloody one, so expect a very violent Final Fantasy, it does link to the story. So I hope you'll use this opportunity to give it a try. I'm truly happy to be involved with a new Final Fantasy and the title connected to its origin. Wow. So the head of Team Ninja said, using the feedback that players provided after playing the trial version, all of us at Team Ninja will work to make the title that meets the expectations, not only action game fans, but also Final Fantasy series around. So this is going to be the official origin tale of Final Fantasy. So this is going to probably most likely tell the story of the first Warriors of Light. So because if you played, for those who veterans of Final Fantasy, know that most of the games, especially through which now that I'm thinking about it, makes it convenient. It makes it obvious why they're re-releasing 1 through 6 because those are usually the Warriors of Light sagas.
mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes sense now where everything is coming in together. So now that I read the synopsis and the press release, I'm a little bit more curious about the story. It seems that this is going to be taking Final Fantasy into a very dark, bloody tone, as they said. So I'm expecting probably the first M rating for Final Fantasy if this is as bloody as they're describing it. But
I mean, the trailer itself looks very brooding and
yeah,
very dark. So
yes, it was a very dark trailer. I'm I'm going to give my final thoughts on this. I'm not gonna say that it was trash because it really wasn't, but I would say because the Ubisoft one, I'm not sure if you saw that one, that was horrible. Yeah,
I
the
haven't.
Ubisoft
This is the first one I've seen.
yeah.
Because for well, all of you don't know, but I've been I was away for a week, so I just got back when things are starting up at E3. Or this is like, is this the last day?
No. This is day 2, I
Oh,
believe.
this is only day two.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It started yesterday.
So okay, gotcha. So yeah, so I missed yesterday's press conferences. So I've only seen Square Enix, and I've seen a little trailers here and there with
Mm,
Xbox and
yeah.
Microsoft.
Well,
And some of those trailers look interesting. I'm
well,
excited for a couple.
I'm actually excited for Sea of Thieves has Jack Sparrow now.
Yes.
Like they got Johnny Depp and everything. I was like, that is Johnny Depp, right? I kept listening, trying to listen
Unless
to it.
unless it's James Arnold Taylor,
Well,
because he also does the impersonation of him.
who if it is Johnny, then props. But if it's not, whoever voiced that, s- perfect, perfection with that. But I mean, I would say I was just disappointed. I was expecting Final Fantasy 16. I was expecting part 2 of Final Fantasy 7. I was expecting the next tease of the Kingdom Hearts saga, even though I'm retired from that franchise. Um,
I'm not.
yeah, you're not, but I'm definitely retired after 3. But I was expecting a little bit more of the heavy hitters, but it is nice to see that we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm very curious about Babylon Fall. It's nice to see that Final Fantasy is getting its origin. Um, but overall, I will say disappointing, but not terrible. That's my final thoughts on it.
I would say it was on the also too, because this is my first conference. I can't really give a proper rating on
Mm.
it. I would say this is one of the fastest conferences that I've ever sat on or sat in. Um, they just got right to the point, and I think, to be honest, I like this format better with these conferences because
Yeah,
it just goes straight into like either the story, the gameplay. If they don't have anything, then they're not scrounging up stuff to showcase. It's just like, here's the trailer for it. It's coming, that type of thing.
yeah,
Um, but kind of going with that, like I wish there was a little bit more care for like the world ends with you. I wish, like, again, I didn't know that there was going to be a new Tomb Raider game coming
mhm,
out until like at the end when there was some when IGN was coming back on and they were saying something about it. I didn't know that there was supposed to be a new Lara Croft game. Um, so like at the end of that, because I like we were saying before that because it's coming out during this month, I guess they didn't want to waste time to showcase it because people already know. Um, However, I feel like there should have been like more of an effort for that, because especially for The World Ends with You, which is such like a underground hit.
yeah.
Um, I mean, it was in Kingdom Hearts
2.
for
Yeah.
two. Kingdom Hearts, yeah, it was in Dream Drop Distance. So like I would think that it would be like more care. Again, I wish there was Kingdom Hearts news. Probably not going to hear that until 5 more years down the line. Um,
When I'm 40.
no, not 40.
My goodness.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Final Fantasy. I'm excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, yeah, it just seemed so short.
Yeah.
Even when they went into mobile games, it was just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like there
The
wasn't. It just felt like they not that they weren't proud of them. It was just kind of like, here's something to tie you over while these games are being made, which I get,
Mhm.
completely understand. But I just wish there was more substance there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just me. To sum it all up, it was just too short, and I wish that they would highlight some of the things that they didn't go over a
Yeah.
little bit more.
I agree, but that is our Square Enix E3 wrap up. This was Justin with Ash. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you like what we do here, don't forget to visit tacosandgeeks.com. And that's it. We're gonna be back probably. If Nintendo has something important, we'll do another video. So this is Justin and Ash saying later days.
Later days.